Hi, Dave Hurwitz at ClassicsToday.com, here to talk to you about a relative rarity in concert, though not so much on disc. I'm speaking of Swiss composer Frank Martin's Petite Symphonie Concertante for harp, harpsichord, piano, and double string orchestra. It's a wonderful and unique combination that really actually hasn't been imitated by anybody, probably, or that many people. I'm sure someone will come up with something. But the fact of the matter is that the ensemble presents problems of balance between the harp, the harpsichord, and the piano, never mind the strings, that are all but insoluble, although Frank Martin does his very, very best to solve them. And the work is a masterpiece. It's about 22 minutes long in two movements, beautifully shaped. It's one of those pieces, I think, that falls a little bit between the cracks. It hovers on the fringes of the repertoire, just as it hovers on the fringes of tonality. You know, the basic theme is a 12-note row, but the march finale is completely tonal. And it's also touched by those little jazz inflections that you find in Martin's famous concerto for 7 wind instruments, timpani, percussion, and strings. Another wonderful work, by the way, which has been recorded also very frequently. The best one, in case you care, is probably this one with Ricardo Chailly and the Concertgebouw Orchestra on Decca. It also has the ballades, which are somewhat well known, at least in their versions for the solo instrument plus piano. But we're here to talk about the Petite Symphonie. Now, the arrangement of soloists was so odd in its day that Martin also arranged it as a Symphonie Concertante for full orchestra. And here it is on Chandos, and a very good recording conducted by Matthias Bammert. It's also been recorded by Stephen Sloan for MD&G. But the truth of the matter is the work sounds best the way Martin actually wrote it. And the performance to get, if you're having only one. Now, I have to say, it's been recorded much more frequently than you might think, given its rarity in concert. Just about every single chamber orchestra in Switzerland at one point or another did it. Ernest Ansermet recorded it. Armin Jordan recorded it at least twice. And it really is sort of a recording work par excellence because of the balance problems, which you can solve by a clever microphone placement. But if you want to have really the best recording, and it's very funny, to sometimes come across these things, it's this one, Leopold Stokowski conducting his, the Leopold Stokowski Symphony Orchestra, which of course is a pickup group. None of the soloists are named. The strings are just whoever he probably got. And as is so often the case with Stokowski, he just makes magic out of it. The funny thing about his performances is that you never know what you're going to get. I mean, he might take a normal piece of classical repertoire, like by, say, Brahms or Tchaikovsky, and cut it and shred it and gussy it up and rescore it. I mean, God knows what's going to happen. But he could take a piece of contemporary music, a new work, and play it with more passion and love and conviction and sonic splendor than you ever might have believed possible. And he usually plays it straight. Here's just a little sample of the finale. And just listen to this. This was recorded in the 50s or something, and it sounds fabulous. It's sonically the best version out there as well. It's just shocking. It's absolutely terrific. Now, it's included in, the icon, the big Stokowski EMI recordings box. This version, which was in the old Matrix series with Steinberg doing Ernst Talch's Third Symphony and Hindemith's Mathis der Maler, both excellent performances in somewhat screechy mono. It may be hard to find, if not impossible by now. You can probably download the whole thing. I did at one point, I think a couple of years ago. But really, if you want to hear the Petite Symphonie Concertante, and you really do because it's really good, and Frank Martin is a wonderful composer to get to know. If you don't, if you're looking, to start on somebody new who you haven't had much experience with, because there are a whole series of concertos and orchestral works that are quite beautiful, challenging, but also rewarding in equal measure. He was a true craftsman. So give this recording a shot. Leopold Stokowski with the Leopold Stokowski Symphony Orchestra doing Frank Martin's Petite Symphonie Concertante. Thank you, and keep on listening.